Whoa. Okay. I know there's another. Ooh. You see, there's two screens here. This here is not your usual laptop. It's got some secrets up its sleeve. Check this out. So this still looks like a normal laptop until I do this. This is the brand new Asus Zenbook Duo 2024, and it features Intel Core Ultra 7 new processor. So let's check it out. Incredible comes from within. Okay, there's a few things we're gonna get. The laptop, an Asus backpack, pretty cool. A laptop sleeve, I believe. I think this might be like a stand or something as well, because it's got some foldables here. Perhaps it will work like a stand. Yeah, looks like it, like that. This is also an Asus pen holder in there. Look at that, the way it opens. Pushes the back up. Oh, this little thing can be used as a stand. Be folded into there, as you can see. Whoa, let's see what happens here. Whoa, okay. I know there's another. Ooh. You see, there's two screens here. Two screens. Oh my goodness. So the keyboard literally just pops on like that. Underneath, what we can see is a little stand that you can use different ways. It says here, this yellow sign, that this is a sample for testing purposes only. No warranty service applicable. What we can see here is Intel Core Ultra 7. Here we see a power brick, which is a 65 watt power brick from Asus that comes with this. And we've got an Asus Pen 2.0. Firstly, this is a pre-production unit, and Asus was so kind to actually partner up with this video to actually bring you this early look of this device. So thanks Asus for making this possible. Now, we've seen some Asus Zenbook Duo devices before, where we had kind of like a little small screen in here, and I've done tests on this on the channel before, but this time they've taken it to a whole nother level. We've got to explore how you can use this device because they've kind of given you a few options. So you can use it as a normal laptop just like that, or you've got a keyboard in there and you got a screen in there. By the way, it is a touchscreen. Then another way how you can use it is by using this stand in the back of this device. You just gotta pull it out like that. And then basically, if you wanted to, you can have the laptop up like that, but obviously the keyboard now is slightly awkward because you don't want to type like that. So you can take the keyboard off, and now you've got a dual screen setup in here. Both of them are touchscreens. And now this tiny little thing that you pulled off is actually a wireless keyboard. It's got a backlit keyboard and it is really, really nice. So as you can see, we can go to there. As you can see, everything works in there. Hi, this is the keyboard. So this option here is your dual screen mode, where you've got two screens and you can split it very, very easily. However you want to do it, and whatever you'd like to have on the top, whatever on the bottom. You can simply drag and drop something on the bottom, something on the top. And then there is a third way how you can use this as well, which is turning it on its side and having the screen flat just like that. And you would have your kind of a desktop version where you have something side by side, vertical. So these are for people who do perhaps a lot of coding, or you're reading a lot of text online, or perhaps you want to draw something on one side and while seeing a lot of screen state this way, then you can use it this way as well. And because you can see the screen goes 180% flat, if we put this down like that, and we can have something called a sharing mode. So I'm gonna open this here. And if I'm going to click this one here, I can select the sharing mode. So let's say I'm across the table with somebody. I can go one-on-one and it's going to completely mirror these screens. So whatever I'm doing here, as you can see, it's going to happen for them as well. So let's say I'm showing some kind of a design that I've just drawn, something like that, then we can easily do that. Now, the screen doesn't quite fold over the other way, so you can't kind of make a triangle and showcase it just like that. Now, if you want to, you can use this laptop without the keyboard as well. You can have an on-screen keyboard and just use it like a touchscreen if you wanted to, or use an Asus Pen 2.0. Both of these screens do support Asus Pen 2.0 as well, just so you know. And as you can see, the laptop does come with one of these pens. Now, because this is a dual screen laptop, we've got to talk about these screens here, because this is one of the finest screens that you can find on the market. So these are OLED screens. They are 16 by 10 aspect ratio, both of them. They're identical, both of them, and you know, all together they kind of can be a big screen if you wanted to. There is a little kind of notch in the middle, but you do have two screens. So they are 3K OLED panels that are 120 Hertz refresh rate, which just makes interacting with your content very, very snappy and very fluid experience. And because this is the Asus Lumina OLED technology, they have really, really good color accuracy as well as color space. So these screens can support DCI P3 100% color space, which is fantastic, basically covers everything you need out there. And it is Pantone validated and Dolby Vision validated and VESA Display HDR True Black 500 certified. So there's a lot of certifications for these screens. So these are not just your gaming screens or something that is just kind of high refresh rate. They're very color accurate and very good quality screens. If you use the OLED technology before, this is one of the best what you can get out there. If you haven't experienced OLED out there, you're going to be absolutely blown away by these screens. Then moving on to this tiny keyboard. Now this is incredibly thin and it kind of magnetically just pops into this and onto this screen, and when these contacts there touch, it knows this keyboard is attached and just kind of moves the screen up there and turns this bottom screen off. Which means that when you've got your keyboard attached, you're actually going to get longer battery life because you're just going to use one screen rather than two screens for this battery life. I can't believe you can have a keyboard that's this thin and still is absolutely amazing. So this keyboard, the writing on it is so nice. So I'm using the Logitech MX Master keyboard, or MX keys, this is what it's actually called. And these keys here are very similar typing experience as these there. They're soft, nice key travel, and surprisingly a lot of key travel for such a skinny keyboard. This is skinnier than your smartphone. And even the trackpad, now this is not a haptic trackpad, this is on a hinge, but it's very, very nice to use, and I'm very much enjoying using this trackpad. I have had no issues with that. Now, the ports and connectivity of this device. It comes with Bluetooth 5.2 and Wi-Fi 6E. On the left side of the laptop, we have two Thunderbolt 4 ports here. One Type A USB port, which is 5 gigabits in speed, and another Type-C port for charging the keyboard, and a little Bluetooth switch so you can just switch the keyboard off if you don't want to use this over the Bluetooth. And then on the other side we have a headphone combo jack and a HDMI 2.1. Now, this yellow sticker here says that this is a pre-production model, but this laptop actually comes with Intel Core Ultra CPUs. Now you can get 3 CPU configurations for this, the Ultra 5, 7 or 9. That's 125H or 155H or 185H. This model that I have here is the Ultra 7, and it's not just amazing in terms of battery life. That's one of the first things that I've noticed when playing around and trying to set this laptop up. I can see that the battery percentage goes down very, very slowly. But one of the interesting things about this Ultra CPU is that when we open the task manager, you can see that there is, firstly, 32 gigs of memory, which is the maximum configuration you can do. But the speed of the RAM is 7,467 megahertz, which is absolutely insane. This is the fastest RAM that I've seen on a laptop, Windows laptop so far. I'm sure that some of the gaming laptops are probably going to push this even further, but in terms of mobile CPUs, this is very, very fast RAM. It shows that there is 8 slots of 8 used, but it's because it's soldered actually onto the motherboard. That's why. Then on the CPU, we can see that because this Ultra 7 155H, we have 16 cores and 22 threads, which translates to 6P cores and 10 E cores. This CPU goes up to 4.8 gigahertz. We've got a 2 terabyte NVMe installed as well as Intel Arc graphics that come with the CPU that's built into there as well. Interestingly, the new Core Ultra CPUs have a built-in AI processors, or NPUs, as you can see, Intel AI Boost. So far, I haven't found a lot of things that this AI device can do yet or give you performance. But it's great to have a hardware option built into there, so you're not going to have to send your AI thing away, which means that you're massively limited by the internet connection to get it done by a cloud somewhere in a server, for example, Photoshop or things like that. I bet more and more softwares are gonna let the AI be done locally, which you can do now with these new things. So far, I can't show you how good this is because I don't know how to test it. So about the Intel Ultra performance, as much as I'd like to test this and show you the results, this is a pre-production unit and it's probably not gonna showcase really the real performance that you're gonna be getting. So if you are interested in that, hit that subscribe button. I'm sure we're gonna work out something when the actual full version comes out so I can show you the Intel Ultra performance, the Ultra 7, Ultra 9, Ultra 5. If you're interested, stay tuned. Now there's a few more things that I like to find out, which we'll do on Tech Notice, which is pulling this laptop apart. Let's see what's inside. But before we're going to do that, it's important that I mention the webcam. Now this webcam is a 1080p webcam, but it's got an IR sensor, which means that you can use Windows Hello to actually unlock your device. As well as having visual video noise reduction, they also have an audio noise reduction as well. So Asus got their own kind of thing going on where they probably sharpen the image, as I can see there. So let me know what does the webcam and audio sound coming from this. In terms of battery life, this laptop has a 75 watt-hour battery, and Asus states that they can give you all-day battery life with this. And I can actually believe that because the new technology of Intel Ultra processors is actually on Intel 4 nanometer process, which is much more energy efficient and gives you all day battery life basically. Now, I want to see what's inside. I'm not sure if we're supposed to do that, but we'll find out. Firstly, underneath this stand, there is a little cover here. So if I'm going to undo these screws from there, all the screws that come here are exactly the same size. So now the hinge is off. There is a little bit in here that lets you open this bit. You can see the motherboard here, and I think this is the battery. So you can take the battery plug off from here or disconnect the battery, but I want to see. Okay, here we have the inside of the laptop. So basically, I've got the screen in here, and interestingly, I actually had one loose screw inside this laptop. I think this loose screw is meant to be just over there for this motherboard. So I'm gonna put this one back. I'm gonna do Asus a favor, fix their laptop. This screw there was loose as well. Pre-production unit, looks pretty cool. So basically, this is one of the touch screens. So that's the bottom screen that goes on the bottom, and then the keyboard goes on the top there. And in order to actually get it disconnected, you have to take the panel out there, and you have to take this ribbon cable off, which they're very, very fragile, so be very, very careful about that. So interestingly, we don't actually see the CPU heat pipes because they're like on the other side, because this time we actually kind of entered the laptop kind of from the top part. Usually you have a keyboard on the top here and you don't see these bits. So the actual heatsink of the laptop and the cooling is on the other side. So you can see the heat sinks are here. So we're blowing heat out from the side. You've got a heat pipe that I can see underneath there, and most likely this is just gonna go underneath something just like that. Now I can't see the heat sink here, and in order to access the M.2 SSD, that's probably on the other side as well, which I can't see on this side. We can see the RAM that's soldered in here. There's probably another 4 on the other side. SK Hynix chips that have been soldered onto there. And then, well, on the other side, we can see that the M.2 SSD is just, can you see there? That's like the slot in there. And you're gonna have to have an M.2 slot that is only single-sided, so things on the top there. The interesting thing is the motherboard layout here is very, very small and pretty cool. Now, here's the speakers. They kind of go around here, and that's what it looks like. Let's put it back together. So when we're gonna put it back in, I'm gonna make sure that this ribbon cable does go there on the other side. Let's see if we can see that on the other side. Yes, we can. And once we can kind of click it in. We put the keyboard back for now as well. because when I'm actually gonna slide it in, this is gonna hold this down. And let's put the ribbon cable back in there. There's a nice white line there that shows when it's in, and then we flick this one back on the other side, and then the ribbon cable is back installed. Let's put everything back together. Okay, we're back together. Let's see if it turns on. Interestingly, the power button is actually this tiny little place in there. You press that, then the power comes on. Voila. Now the laptop also has Harman and Kardon sound design. Now let's test how good is the SSD speed in this laptop. So we're getting Gen 4 speed somewhere in the middle, 5,217 megabytes per second. That's all right. It looks like they've got a Western Digital SN740 SSD inside. So the conclusion of this then is I am very, very impressed by this. Now, I didn't think that you can have such a multitasking machine on the go and to really take it to the next level. Now, Asus is always innovating the design. I don't see any other companies that are pushing the limits so much. Asus always, like the Zenbook Duo last year with a smaller screen was one. This is on a whole another level. Like we can get so much screen real estate and in such a portable form factor and such a good battery life and performance. I'm very, very happy with this. Here's the dual OLED in action. You see that? 120 Hertz dual OLED. That is pretty awesome. So in terms of the SSD speeds, 5.2 gigabytes per second read speed and 4.7 gigabytes per second write speeds. Not bad. So is this a creator laptop? And I'd say probably, but I think it's a little bit more than that. It's for people who are looking for the ultimate portable multitasking aspects, or perhaps you need to present something, or you're a business person or a business owner who needs to showcase maybe some stats or some of the things constantly to someone on the go, to be able to present very easily on the table, to have a lot of screen estate. Maybe you're an accountant who needs to see a lot of Excel spreadsheets, then having something like this is really, really awesome. The good battery life, detachable keyboard. I mean, there's very little to not like about this device. The only downside I can think of is that it's not upgradable. Actually, the SSD of the laptop can be upgraded. As you can see, it is possible, but if you don't feel comfortable doing that as an end user, and perhaps you just want, plug and play, then just configure the laptop from the get-go how you'd like it to be. But there is an SSD upgrade option for those DIYers if you're into that. If you do want to pick this one out, I'm going to leave it linked in the description below. And thanks Asus for sponsoring this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.